Looks like everybody is in the house. This is Dan coming to you live from Cebu. We're back in the apartment. Oh, we got a lot to talk about today. It's going to be one of them shows. Oi. How's it going, everybody? All right. So, let's see. What do I want to talk about first? Oh, yeah. Okay. So, we were delayed. So, Dan comes up with this brilliant plan, right? This brilliant plan. Let's fly out of Clark. Let's go ahead and pay the extra money instead of going to Manila and taking that long bus ride from Pampanga, Angeles City. We decide that we'll go out of Clark, hassle-free flying on Cebu Pacific. I don't know if you guys know it or not, but Cebu Pacific is running all kind of promo, right? They're running all kind of promos. What's that? You look like you're live from your bathroom. Yeah, this is the shower curtain over here. Yeah, so what about it? Huh? What about it? We decide we're going to fly out. We get on the plane. Everything is going smoothly. Oh, no. I got to tell you the whole story. So, as most of you know, airlines like Cebu Pacific, they're like Southwest. They're discount airlines. Even though I paid a little bit more money, Mammy and I, for flying out of Clark, we're talking about hassle-free flying. You go in, check in, get on the plane, you're gone. 1 hour flight time, boom, in Cebu, landing in Mactan. Anyway, so what happens is we get all loaded up and everything. Oh, I tried to fly standby on an earlier flight. Nitban is here. Hi, Nitban, world traveler from Nepal. We check in. Well, first of all, we're standing in line. We get there early. There's a flight leaving in a half an hour. I get this brilliant idea. I wonder if they have standby. So I go up, and the security guy, I'm standing in line to check, and the security guard says, "Let me see your paperwork." I show the paperwork, and he says, "Your flight doesn't leave for another 3 hours." I go, "I understand that. I'm going to see if they have an opening for Mammy and I to fly that earlier flight in standby, because it doesn't look like there are a whole lot of people." So he looks at me and says, "Plane is full." So this is the security officer telling me the plane is full. So I say, "Crystals is in the house. Hi, Crystals. Anna Mae's here. Minnie's flushing the toilet. Larry Lee is here. And the Mac Daddy himself, Edward D. Beck, is in the house. Duck lover. Duck lover to the world." So anyway, so he says the plane is full. And I'm looking at him. I go, "The plane is full?" I said, "Show me on your computer." And so he starts laughing at me. I don't have a computer. Then how do you know the plane is full? A simple question. So then he's looking around and he realizes, well, maybe the plane isn't full. So he yells over to somebody, a supervisor, somebody over there at check-in, and she says, "Let him down. Let him come on down. Let him come on down." So Mammy and I, we make our way over to the window, and And the gal says, "Can I help you?" I said, "Yeah, we want to know if we can get on this. We want to know if we can get on this early plane that's leaving in half an hour." Oh, well, I don't know. Let me see. When are you scheduled to be here? Well, the next flight is at 2:30. We're trying to get on this 11:30 bus. Is it possible? And she cannot answer the question. Well, she just looks at me like a bird, kind of like looking up in the air. Yes, it's a beautiful day. And I go, "Oh, by the way, may I ask you a question?" "Certainly, sir. Are you a trainee?" And she goes, "Yeah." You can tell. I go, "Yeah. Is there somebody a little bit more experienced hanging around?" And so she goes looking around for somebody to help her. And everybody's kind of shooing her away, like, "I'm busy here. I'm busy here. Can't you see I'm busy here?" Sec Bucci's in the house. Thanks so much for coming. Menge, always welcome. Oh my goodness, everybody's here. 14 million people in the house. I am so thrilled and appreciative of you giving us your time. All right, so now she starts running around. I could see she's panicking a little bit because she knows that this plane is leaving in a few minutes. And we only have a few moments to get over to the gate one it's leaving from. But I also know that gate one is only 20 or 30 steps away from where we're trying to check in. I'm not worried about it. I know that we can do the run, the Hertz run. Some of you may not know what that's all about. Well, anyway, set that aside for a moment. So anyway, she's trying to get the attention. Finally, she goes to the supervisor, and she's like talking to the supervisor, and the supervisor gives her the hand. I'm helping this man out, standing in front of me, and this man, this nice looking, looks like a world traveler, Filipino guy, is talking her ear off, the supervisor's ear off. Blah 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 blah. And the woman, the supervisor, is trying to help this guy, right? But she's trying to get on the computer and make whatever changes she needs to make. But this Filipino guy is, "Hey, you need to take care of me. I'm a world traveler. I got money. I'm a world traveler." So anyway, I'm sitting there. I'm amused by the whole thing, and slightly irritated at the same time. I want to turn over to the guy. I want to look over at the guy and say, "Could you please shut the F up?" You could see the supervisor is making the changes that you need. I am waiting to see if I can get on this bus that's leaving in just a few moments. So finally, the gal just goes on her merry way, making changes in the computer for Ma'am Minnie and I, and she hands us the ticket, and I notice therefore the 2:30 scheduled flight. What the heck? I said, "No, ma'am. Did you misunderstood me? Did you misunderstood me? Did you misunderstand me? I'm trying to get out of here on an earlier flight." She says, "Oh, just go check in." So I think, well, maybe I just have to go see the counter people over there at the plane, and they will take care of this. So we take those 2:30 plane tickets, and we go through check, and we get through security. I get strip searched again, but anyway, that's another story. I actually liked it. So anyway, we get through security, and we get over to gate one, which only took us a couple of minutes. And I say, "Can we fly standby on this plane?" And the guy just starts laughing. And I'm like, "What's so funny?" He says, "We don't do that." I said, "What do you mean? What do you mean you don't do that? We're a discount airline. We don't do that. I can do it for you, but there's going to be a fee." Now, we're in the Philippines, right? We're in the Philippines. But the guy does this, right? He looks at me with a smile on his face while looking over at his male coworker. And he goes, "Yes, I can put you on this plane, sir, but it will be an additional $200 fee." So I'm looking at him and I'm smiling. I'm like this. "You're a delight." I chuckle out of, "You're delightful. Why did you quote me the change fee in US dollars?" When you know that we're in the Philippines and that 3/4 of the people on this plane are Filipino. So why did you choose to make fun of me that way by saying it was going to be a $200 change fee? I said to him, I looked at him, I said, could you be so kind as to convert that into pesos so I can make sense of it, whether I want to go on this plane or not? So the guy looks at me and I go, I'm not getting on this plane, am I? He goes, well, honestly, sir, no, you're not. But you have room on this plane for me. He goes, yes, sir, I do. But you ain't getting on it. So if you wouldn't mind going over to gate 2 and wait a couple hours for the next ride out, that would be nice because you're inconveniencing me. This is the guy at the gate. He says that'll be a $200 change fee. He quotes it to me in American dollars. I was looking at him, and I was thinking to myself, another quirky thing about Filipino sense of humor, right? So then I look over at Man Mini and I'm like, we ain't getting out of here. Like, I sort of chuckle. Let's go over to gate 2 and let's just wait for our plane. We got our tickets, we got early check-in. We'll probably be one of the first folks to board anyway. Let's just go over there, right? So we go over there and wait, and I grab a hot dog, a real American hot dog, not a red one. And I'm sitting there having some fun talking to the hot dog woman, the hot dog lady. Well, anyway, long story short, we we eventually get on the plane that we were scheduled for, and all is fine. We get settled in our seat really quickly. We were the first couple of people to board because they say any old men in the house that want to board early, and I raised my hand. I said, "This is my nurse. She's going to assist me," and we get on the plane. And then guess what happens? Guess what happens? We're stuck there. We're stuck there on the plane for an hour and a half. Why? What happened? What happened? What happened was we got stuck there because a storm, a huge storm came over and it sat right over the top of the airport. And they closed the airport down for an hour and a half until that storm cleared. Now I had my storm watch on. I had my radar. I went to the satellite. Yeah, I'm a pretty fancy guy. Yeah, I go to the satellite and I look down there and I see that we have two storms back to back coming our way, and we only have a 15 or 20-minute window to make good our escape. But unfortunately, they make the decision to shut the airport down for an hour and a half to wait to see what's going to happen. One cell decides to stay over Manila instead of moving north. The other one comes right over the top of Clark International Airport and sits there. And I'm looking at the radar, I'm going, this thing ain't moving. This thing ain't moving. It takes an hour and a half for this thing to make its way out of the airport. They were worried about lightning strikes and all this other stuff. I appreciate that. I appreciate that they're concerned about my safety. After all, I am becoming a YouTube superstar. So anyway, you have to protect the quarterback. So anyway, everything's working out just fine. So we're finally on our way after about an hour and a half. And by the way, they couldn't have treated us better on the plane. They busted out everything. They busted out all the food. They said, hey, we don't have a lot here, but we're willing to share. And so they busted out because it's a discount. They only had a few meals, a few snacks, and some drinks. And they said, hey, when we run out, we'll run out. But we're going to hand all this stuff out for free for as long as we can. As long as we got it. We got to do it, to make everybody happy. So they started going around handing out free stuff, right? Noodles and Coke and coffee and all kind of different Filipino snacks, all kinds of stuff, right? So they kept us happy for an hour and a half, and pretty much everybody was happy. They were happy. I was happy. I was sitting there going, well, they're making us feel very comfortable. That's nice. Hour and a half, we're in the air, right? And so we're flying around up there. We get into Cebu, right on the money, 1 hour flight time, right? So we're getting there late. We're getting there late. It's already getting dark. Man, Minnie's getting a little bit nervous. And then I spring it on her, honey. We're not going to take the bus or the taxi. We're not doing the taxi mafia, and we're not doing the bus mafia. Because in that airport, if you guys have ever been through Cebu, Mactan, there are only a couple of ways out of there, right? There are taxi that screw you, and that's at the airport. That's not the metered guys on the street here, by the way. I love the metered guys on the street. They will always drop the flag. But in the taxi, the taxi mafia there in the airport, you got to pay the special fee to get to where you need to go. And I go, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to pay I'm not doing the 500, 600 peso thing to the apartment. Mammy she's giving me the stink eye, right? I said, we're walking the hell out of here. So we walk by the bus, and I asked the people selling the bus tickets, how is it that we get the hell out of here? And she's like this. There's nothing but silence. She's like this. Why would I be telling you how to get out of the airport when I'm making $10 up ahead, getting people on this here bus to take them into Cebu City? And I'm like looking at her like, all right, it's not rocket scientist. I'm not a rocket scientist, but it's not rocket science. I can find my way out of here. So I do play a rocket scientist on TV, however. All right, so we go. Mammy is rolling her eyes at me, and then she's like, okay, because you've never failed me, Mr. Man, I'm following you. That's basically what she says. Because you have never failed me, I'm going with you. All right, so we start hiking. We start hiking out of there. And we make our way out of the airport, and I realize where I'm at almost immediately. It's not because I've done this before. It's because when we roll out of the airport, I remember the way, everything that's in our path. And so Minnie says, how do you do that? Well, it's very easy. We're on an island. We're on an island, right? You cannot get lost. If you start at point A, whether you go east, west, north, or south, you'll always end up back where you started. I said, and so this is one of the beautiful things about the Philippines. They're a series of islands. You cannot get lost. Even if you're walking, you can't get lost. And so I have no fear. And so we start walking. I start recognizing the direction we need to go. And then even though I knew, just for a little bit of backup help, I fire up my GPS. And I said, we go that way, the way we were headed. And then we end up where we're supposed to pick up the air-conditioned bus over to Mactan, Newtown. And that's where the main bus terminal is. And from there, we can head straight directly on the big bus to IT Park. And from there, we could catch a local Jeep or a local bus. It'll take us right straight to our front door. All right. So how did it work out, Dan? Well, it worked out just fine, except I made an error, right? And that is that after we got going on our journey, I realized that all we really have to do is get over one of the bridges from Mactan, and then we could catch a Jeep going anywhere, and we would have gotten home a lot sooner. Instead, we got trapped in the traffic because it was Friday night traffic. Everything was headed towards that terminal at Mactan, Newtown. But anyway, we get there. So we added a half hour to our trip. We get there just fine, but I'll know next time. I have already figured it out. Hang with me, guys. Hang with me. I will never steer you wrong. Okay, so we end up over there in Mactan, and then we get off the big bus, and we get on another one going to IT Park. And then while we're rolling over there, we're asking people questions about once we get to IT Park, what do we do? Ran into a beautiful person who watches the channel, a subscriber. She says, "You guys look familiar to me." And then we figured out she's a subscriber to the channel. And so now I'm going, see, I'm meeting them everywhere now, everywhere. I'm going to go into that in a moment. We get over there. They drop us off at IT Park, and we immediately are able to find the bus that's dropping us. It was just parked right there. We get on that bus, and it takes us right to our front door. Now, what's the damage? What was the damage in total cost? I know you guys are wanting to know this, right? So listen, I'm turning Filipino. What can I say? I've been explaining that to people. My last name's Herrera. And so, of course, it's a Filipino name. So, of course, I got a little Filipino blood in me. Why not walk all the way home? Listen, Knit Band, it's a 2.5-hour walk. Well, I could have done it. We could have done it, but it's 2.5 hours, okay? I wasn't so motivated. I want to take a little bit of, I've been walking everywhere that day. I wanted to take a load off. You know what I'm saying? All right, so total damage, 154 pesos for the both of us. Mammy and I. Winner, chicken dinner. 154 PHPs, Philippine pesos, which translates into less than $3. Yay, we did it. All right. So now I'm going to bring up, I see I got people waiting in the green room. So let's bring them up. Let's bring them up before they lose interest in the whole story. Who do we got here? Oh, yeah. Larry Lee. It's in the house. I had coffee in the green room for you guys. I don't understand what the big deal is here. I realize I could be a little bit long-winded, Hey, Mac Daddy. Yeah. Yeah, Mac Daddy, where are you, Mac Daddy? I don't see you. It says something's wrong. I'm not sure exactly what it's telling me, but it says they will need to contact their, I don't know what that means. It says, Mac Daddy, that I can't bring you up. I'm not sure why. There you are. Now everything is good. I think you lost internet connection for a moment there. There you are. Okay, the Mac Daddy's in the house.
Hey, Big Ed.
Hey, gang.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I got to lower my sound here a little bit.
I'm going to turn up the sound.
Ed,
What?
This is not our gang.
What?
This is not our gang.
Sound is up. Or what?
Our gang.
Our gang.
Little rascal.
Oh. Well, it's Dan, it's Larry, it's Leonard, it's Ed. We're the Four Musketeers?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, let me get my phone going.
And of course, Larry.
This is very quiet. It doesn't have any volume.
Tell me you're gonna be right back.
How are you?
Tell me you gotta be right back.
I don't need to be right back.
Yeah.
Let's unplug the game.
Yeah, walking all the way, Knit Band. Don't think I didn't think about it, but when I looked at the GPS, I saw it was an hour and a half out. I decided that I've done my 10,000 steps for today. That's all you're getting out of me. What's 10,000 steps? That's supposed to be like 5 miles, right? Hey, I can't hear you, Larry. Can't hear you. You were joking?
No, I forgot to turn my mic on. I had it off so I could.
You did that. You did that once before.
All right. Use sign language. Use sign language.
Well,
yeah.
I can't because I have arthritis. My hands won't let me.
That's bad.
That's a nice excuse.
That's a 3.
Yeah.
That would make things difficult. Des is in the
part,
house. Des,
I can
thanks
do
so much.
most of those, but
Hey, I need to thank Des has been marketing me. You know, I noticed that Des is marketing me. She's putting it out there. Nitban, what do you say, Dan? In Nepal, I made a 18 what? You mean what? Nepal money, 1,800 Nepal money taxi ride, way overpriced. Way overpriced for me, the tourist. In a 30 Nepal money local bus ride. I didn't give in to the taxi mafia, went alone. All right. So good. Good for you. I'm tired of it. You see, here's the whole thing. If you ignore them, right? What happened to Mac that he dropped out?
yeah,
He was
having
talking with Junior, so I don't know what happened.
he was having some problems. I think with
Yeah,
his
I got a
phone.
strange message
Hi,
on
Pinky.
on
How
the
you
screen.
doing?
Hey, Pinky Gray, nice to
Pinky
see you.
Gray is here. We miss you,
Maurice.
Pink. We miss you, Pink. Don't think we didn't think about surprising you and visiting you, Pinky. But we realized we're going to be going back to Manila really soon because we're just waiting for Mamini to take the oath of office, and then once they
Oh
call
yeah.
her to take, once
Then
they call
she'll
her to
be
take
vice president, right?
then she'll be VP, yeah. And then so once we do that, then we may head up there.
No, she's going to be the president of Dan's and Minnie's journey.
Yeah.
We
She's
still
gonna take over
want
as
to
the
see
president.
I think
Daisy
she
Lynn
already is.
Castro and Raquel, Filipina
Nip Band.
Raquel. Want to see, want to see all our friends to the north. We did get up to Pangasinan. We did see Crystal's and
Hey, Ryder.
Crystal's Adventure and Mark, and that was exciting.
That's
You know,
cool.
yeah. Oh wait! Who's coming up?
There's Ed.
What the heck,
Mike.
Mike?
I'm back.
Now, is this Mike? Hey, Joe?
Hi.
How's it going, Mike?
Is this Mike? Hey,
Mike?
Joe?
I'm walking home.
Okay. Which Mike is this?
Which Mike is
Yeah.
this?
This Mike Hajo?
No, I believe this is Mike married.
This Mike married? Which Mike
No,
are you?
I have an Alcatel.
We got too many mics in
I'll text you later.
All right, see you later, Mike.
Be
Bye,
careful.
Mike.
Have fun, guys.
All right,
too.
thank you for coming up. Thank you for coming up and saying hello. All right, so now, so Des has been marketing me on her live stream, so I really appreciate that, Des. All right, so now let's see,
I've been
Larice.
ducking you.
We noticed.
Yeah, Nipan is world traveler and mountain climber, and I want my hat back. Oh yeah, that's right, I got it back. He was making fun of me on Facebook. Did you guys happen to catch that?
No.
No, I missed it.
He was making fun of me, saying that he stole my hat. I got a kick out of it.
Hey,
I thought
Jim,
it was a
how
funny
are you?
thing. Oh man! All right, what were we going to talk about next? Okay, all right. So anyway, we got back to Cebu, and I want to tell you a little bit about. I think I want to talk about regular guy next. So in Angela City, it seems like every YouTuber in the world who's anybody was there. Yeah, everybody was there, and it seems like everybody was there on the walking street doing live stream videos. I didn't do a live stream on the walking street, but regular guy did. And so regular guy, we were coming downstairs, and regular guy was doing a live stream from Philly Sports Bar. He says Philly Willie, but he's oftentimes referring to the other Philly in the Philippines, Brian, right? They get along so well. So anyway, I guess not. So anyway, I wanted to stop by and say hello during his live, and I had sent him a message saying, "Hey, we're coming downstairs from the hotel, and we're going to be passing by Phillies, and so I'll wave as I'm passing by." And he says, "Well, give me a fist pound, right, when you come by." Well, we get down there and we're passing by, and he's engaged with some a couple of homeless guys from America.
Ah,
It's very fashionable right now to be homeless in America. So he's engaged with them. So we're waving, and Man Mini, I guess, was able to make eye contact with him momentarily. So if you go into his live, you're
hey,
probably
LV.
gonna, who's here? LV. You're probably gonna see us passing by him, heading over to Envy's, where we were gonna grab a beer or a cup of coffee or something. I don't know what we were doing, but we were headed over to Envy's to meet. Oh, we were gonna meet a couple friends of ours over there at Envy's, Dave being one of them. So we were passing by headed that way, and it's towards the last 15 or 20 minutes of Regular Guy's last stream. You're probably going to see myself and Man Mini walking by. We were staying in the hotel right next door to Philly's. There's a hotel, and you would miss it if you blink. Naomi's here.
Yeah,
Naomi's here.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah, that's who
So
I
anyway,
said hello to when you thought I said LV, I guess.
well, I'm hearing myself. I'm trying to hear myself talk.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, so we had 3 or 4. I was seeing Regular Guy all over the place, and I wanted to spend a few moments with them and talk to them, but everybody was so engaged with them, trying to buy him a beer and stuff like that. I'm not starstruck. I wasn't going to stand in line waiting to buy Regular Guy a beer.
Hey,
right?
Mini
Snow's here. So there was
Naomi said hi to you.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
I can't see everybody's chat on my cell phone, so
I know that's why
I'm not being rude. I just can't see anything.
Yeah, Nip says I will watch you. I will watch that and look for your hat. Yeah. I think it's going to be about the last. He was engaged. I'll tell you what. It was a fun live stream. I've been watching it up in the room. One of the reasons that made it fun was that he kept stopping the girls on the street talking to them. Yeah,
like the roving reporter.
Yeah, he was, and so it was so much fun, right? They were all like,
"Man on the street,
you're live," and they were like, "Oh no," and they'd turn around and then walk away, and some of them would hang around and engage. And it was one of the best live streams that I have ever seen on YouTube. So now, if you go in there, you're going to see that it's age restricted. Of course, it has to be.
Yeah,
it has to be.
Larry puts on a heck of a live stream.
It's practically X-rated. Yeah, but do you have dancing girls that Larry on your live stream? Do you have dancing girls
all the time? I used to send him over, knock on his door.
I know he has
standing steaks.
All right. So the last day we're heading out. The very last day we're heading. We're going to go over to Envy's to have breakfast. We were going to. No. I know what it was. We're meeting friends over at Margarita Station to have breakfast, and then we come out, and Regular Guy's headed towards Margarita Station to have breakfast. Probably. I don't know what he's doing. He's walking down Fields Avenue. So I finally have 2 seconds with the man to say how much I appreciate his dry sense of humor. And it's drier than Knitband's sense of humor, which means it's like a sandy desert, But I had been observing Regular Guy. Every time I'd see him, I wouldn't go up and talk to him, but I would be observing from a distance. And so I noticed a few things about him, aside from the fact that he's a very handsome man, a very charismatic guy.
You sure say that a lot.
When
I think he's got a man crush.
That's what I was getting to.
Well, the point here is that it's probably one of the reasons why he became a YouTube superstar so fast. He's very engaging.
And by the way, Mike Joe says hi, guys.
Hey, Mike, how's it going? Oh, but here's the thing. I observe a guy who's a little bit of an introvert, and he may have even mentioned that a couple times on his channel. whenever I looked at him, and it seemed as though he seemed a tiny bit uncomfortable a lot around a whole bunch of people. And so that is one thing that I observed about him that caught my attention. I find that to be very interesting. And also, whenever I called him out, whenever I did a shout out, he's very, what is it? He's very uncomfortable with it. He's not used to the fame. He isn't used to superstardom.
Can I ask you guys a question off to the side?
No.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry. How is my phone quality tonight? I'm on a different phone.
I got a strange message came up. It said, I got a strange message when you popped up the first time. It said, "Do not engage with this hacker," something like that. It was very, very strange. It was a very strange message. I've never seen it before. And then you went, and then you went away. And then when you came back, everything was fine. So I don't know what happened.
My son scalped my other phone. He had to have it. So me being the guy I am, okay, son, you want the better phone? Take it. It's yours. I'm your dad. That's all right.
It's the Mac Daddy.
Hey, say I'm getting cheers in the background. He wanted my
cheering.
The phone sounds fine.
We're playing. We're playing musical phones tonight.
I
it looks fine. It looks fine.
Everybody got a different phone today because he had to have mine.
Yeah.
Well, sure. Why not?
Everything's fine.
I wanted the OLED.
He wanted my OLED Google phone, so it's out of here.
Yeah.
Hey, make sure you say hello to Junior for us.
Hey, he's right here.
I'm right here.
Junior.
How you doing, man?
I had to take my dad's OLED phone, his Google Pixel.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I got jumped. I'm a nice
kids
guy.
do anyway.
Ed, that's what kids are for.
Yeah, that's what kids are for.
Oh, I get jumped all the time for like thousands, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
My son's 29, he's still hitting
I don't have kids. How come I'm broke?
Oh, Nipan is saying something here. He's saying, I saw a regular guy first time in King's live stream more than 2 years back. So, yeah. So anyway, I'm surprised, I'm surprised a little bit by his in-person presence, let's say.
A lot of people,
it seems a little bit different.
They have a different persona in person than they do on the air.
Well, you're going to see the same guy on air here as in person. I will
reserve judgment of that.
Well, Tim,
you won't with me. You're going to see a fatter person in person.
Yeah, Tim and Knit Band, they're just going to tell you straight up. What you see is what you get.
That diet.
Yeah. Oh, listen. I'm fine tuning it. I'm in the process of fine tuning it.
Fine tuning what?
Whatever. Hey, Beth,
yeah,
how you doing?
I got
Beth.
Hey, Beth, how are you?
Dan, Mike, everybody. Hello, Beth.
Yeah. All right. Something very interesting. Yeah, I can verify Dan is what? Dan is what? Dan is Dan. There you go. Mike. That's right. Mike and I, we spent a lot of time together. We didn't spend a lot of time, not like we're like a married couple, not like that.
Uh-huh.
In fact, oh, really?
I think you protest too much.
With Mike, but Mike and Cora, no. I said,
you protest too much.
Mike and I, we can be friends. We're friends. Mike and I can be friends. We can remain friends. He's just a regular guy. No. regular guy person. Regular guy is not a regular guy. I mean, he's just a regular guy. Yes, he is. That's a point I like to make. He is aptly named his channel Regular Guy because he's just a regular guy. So anyway, but he seems to be a little bit of an introvert. That's the only thing I wanted to say about him. He's a nice guy.
Come on now, Mike. Hey, Joe, you know you're going to take long showers into the wee hours of the morning and
now that you mention that, Dan,
each other.
Yeah.
I kind of got a little inkling of that watching his videos.
Really?
Now,
Yeah, it
remember,
just
now some people do YouTube to get out of their comfort zone.
right.
I do it because it gives me something to get up, and get out of
Give
the
you
house.
something to do, right?
Yeah.
And
Nip
hopefully
and
it'll
saying,
give me something to do once I finally quit working.
Nip
I am going
and
to quit working, and I don't want to be completely lazy and become part of
guys,
the couch.
Nip and Nip and is saying, did you ask him how are you? Blah blah blah. Okay, well, check this out. Since we're both world travelers, Nip and I we met each other in person at the Dunkin' Donuts. Now, I just like to say this, right? Nip
The Dunkin'
and
Donuts plug. Here we go.
in
Yep.
Thailand, yeah.
He's
So
got
we
it in
were
already.
we were in Pattaya,
he's
Thailand. We were in Pattaya,
Pattaya.
Thailand, and we met each other at the Terminal 21 Mall at the Dunkin' Donuts in Thailand.
And don't forget
So
to Dunkin'
Nip
Donuts.
Van had an interesting reaction when we met, but I'll let Nip Van share it.
And don't forget you had the pastry cream donut.
Yeah, no long
On
showers
sale for
together. No
$3.99
way,
a
Mike.
dozen this week.
So Mike is just like, here's Dan. Dan, nice to meet you. No big deal,
I want to tell Naomi to congratulate her daughter. Her moving up ceremony is on Tuesday.
Oh,
Congratulations
congratulations,
to
Naomi.
Noemi's daughter.
Or to your daughter, that is. Yeah.
She's cute as a bug's ear. I'm telling you, she is cute as a bug's ear.
Hello, Anna.
And
May.
Naomi, of course, Naomi. We've met Naomi and her daughter is smart. I'm telling you, firsthand. I have firsthand knowledge. She is an intelligent little gal.
Like I said, her moving up ceremony is Tuesday, so we want to congratulate her.
Congratulations, Naomi.
Yes. Tell your daughter congratulations from everybody in the chat.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
definitely.
Great job.
We're all proud of her.
Here's Beth. Hello,
Hey, Beth.
Mike.
Hello,
Hello,
Beth.
Mike.
Hello, Beth.
Did I tell you I'm trying to draft a new YouTube star?
Nip, why don't you tell us about the first meeting? Nip Ban, our first and only meeting. We were supposed to meet a couple of more times. Nip Ban? Nip Ban?
Naomi said her daughter got the special award silver medal.
I don't know. Did it?
Congratulations.
Great.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Hey, listen, Tim, I'm not holding back on what I think about
That's
you,
why.
Tim Dziak. 100,000 views.
Yeah, Naomi, tell her we're all proud of her too.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, Tim, you used to live stream, right? And so why aren't you live streaming? You've got a live stream persona that you can work with. Why aren't you live streaming?
I want to know why Leonard Lund doesn't do more live stream.
I don't know how to do a live stream.
You're doing it now. Just a little. Larry can coach you.
I don't know the host end of it.
I want to be live from Leonard Lund and have some fun.
Yeah.
So Mike is saying, we were kind of starstruck meeting you and Man Mini, but we kept it in check. That's so funny. Starstruck. Okay. All right. Let's face it.
I'm
Dan is
working on it too, Leonard. To tell you the truth.
Well, let's just put it out there. Dan's becoming a YouTube superstar in the making, and so you guys were there from the very beginning. I'd just like to say up front that I will never forget. I will never forget.
That's right. We won't let you.
That's
Dan
right.
has to
I want
Dan has
special
to
green
remember.
room privileges.
Dan's got to remember, I used to plug his videos on Chris and Cebu.
That's right. That's right.
Dan, you got to unlock the drawer in the desk for the special stuff for me when I'm in the green room.
Yes.
I was very flattered when Chris and Cebu mentioned that he actually had gone into my channel and said, "You know what? You have an okay, pretty good channel or a decent channel. It's not."
My son was saying
Tim
that
got bored doing them.
My son was saying they took all Chris and Cebu down. He said he
Nipman
can't
said-
search him on YouTube anymore. He's gone.
all right. Nipman has. He says I can hardly complete 2 sentences in 2 hours. Sir Dan spoke the whole time.
I'm laughing. I'm laughing at it because you know what?
That
His
sounds about
characterization is accurate.
right.
You resemble that.
It made me nervous. It made me nervous.
You know how Mike Hajo said were kind of starstruck meeting you, but kept it in check. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I would be mute. I'd be so starstruck. I say, Dylan, this way, we're not in the same room together. But you put me in the same room with Dan and Man Mimi, I'm going to be mute. Won't be able to talk.
Oh, you guys are so funny. You guys are so right. Oh,
can't you tell I'm
that's
the
a
kind of
good
person
idea.
that just can't talk around people? I think I take it back to my mama. She never met a stranger.
Dan
So
and
Mike, I
Man
really
Mini with the
enjoy your-
toys that attack.
Mike's got a behold tarsier there on his thumbnail. I never noticed that before. I don't know why.
I'm sending
Yeah.
Peter to the Philippines, by the way.
Who?
Okay, so I want to tell you something. I want to tell you something else that happened. All right, if you guys will allow me to entertain you for a moment.
People for the ethical treatment of animals.
So this happens, right? So I'm doing a live stream. I know I got to load up my Gcash so we can have a Gcash winner today. So I go downstairs to 7-Eleven and I'm loading it up. You guys know me, so you guys know me, so you can totally picture me doing this. So I went down there and I went to the machine. So the way you do it now, you load it up on a machine and then it prints out a barcode that you take up to the 7-Eleven counter, and then you give them the money. I loaded it up with 500 pesos this morning just to have a little extra for alcohol and bar girls and the rest. Well, anyway. Oh, man, Minnie's sitting over here looking at me, just scratching her head. She tolerates me, she tolerates my sense of humor and my behavior.
She have a rolling pin in her hand?
Yeah, she's got. I think she's busy right now. She's working on. She's working on. She's very good at balancing the budget, so she's working on that. Anyway, so here's what happens, right? I go down there, and she decides she's going to buy a few things. I'm getting my second cup of coffee for the day. So I take the slip of paper, the coffee, and all the other things that we were buying up there to the counter. I put them up there, and I grab a 1,000 peso thing out of my wallet, and I put it up there. And he says, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir, I have to do this in 2 separate transactions." I said, "You do?" "Yeah, I got the Gcash over here that has a service charge. I got the rest of the stuff over here." So now you guys know that this would never happen in America because the computer knows how to handle both transactions at the same time. So I'm amused.
Yeah, you have a different key to push.
Yeah, I'm amused by the whole thing. So guess what I do? I pull out another 1,000 peso bill, and I hand it to him. I say, "This is for that transaction, and this is for this transaction." So he's looking at me, and I caught him off guard momentarily. He shakes his head, kind of like this. But later you're going to find out the joke's on me, right? So he shakes his head. He's looking down at his change drawer, and he's calculating in his head. So the guy was obviously a mathematical genius. He's calculating in his head how to do the 2 separate transactions while utilizing the two 1,000 peso bills. And the man does it. Unbeknownst to me, the joke is on me because he does the 2 separate actions on the computer, right, separately, and then he gives me back the change all together. By breaking that second 1,000 into smaller bills. And so now I'm stuck here looking at it, trying to figure out if I have the correct change. And so I'm standing there stunned for a moment.
Gotcha.
And he's going, gotcha, and he's smirking at me.
That's why you don't carry those big bills.
Yeah, he goes, there you go, rocket scientist. Got you, right? There you go, Mr. Canal. Got you. So I go walking out the store, and I'm looking at the money in my hand, and I look at Mam Minnie, and I'm trying to explain to her, I'm confused and perplexed. And she's looking at me going, what happened? And I try to explain to her what happened, right? So I immediately assume that the guy gives me the incorrect change, that he cheated himself. Not that he cheated me, but he cheated himself out of the 500 pesos that I was loading up on Gcash. And then I go in there and I pause right before going up to the counter to talk to him again. And of course, he's already made eye contact with me by this point, right? And he still has that smirk on his face, right? And he goes, no, sir. Before I say anything, he says, no, sir, the change is correct. So why did he not just simply do it in one transaction? Why?
Well,
I don't.
Maybe he can't. Number one, or for accounting purposes later on,
Yeah,
when he breaks his register down, and he broke the other bill down because you gringos should have like smaller bills to pay people with.
Yeah. Yeah, Tim said he doesn't want a $500 bar girl. That was from a while back.
Oh, come on, Tim. You know you want
We
more.
have a lot of that going on here right now in Pennsylvania, Dan. They put these game of chance machines in all the bars, and they got game of chance lounges now. But if you win $1,000,
in Louisiana for years.
Yeah, but if you win $1,000, it must be reported to the state.
Oh yeah, that's the way it is everywhere.
Well, not here.
Yeah, Mike. That's what I was thinking.
The machines to do is pay you off in $500 tickets, so you can cash all your tickets separate.
Yeah, so here's Mike saying he loads your Gcash for $300 and pockets the change. Yeah. So anyway, I just don't. I understand what you're saying, Mac Daddy. Nicole's here. Hey, I just don't get it. I really just don't
Nicole.
get it. Because I saw him pushing the buttons. I saw him pushing the buttons and pulling the levers, and it looks to me like he did it in actually, no, I take it back. It looked like to me he was doing it in 2 transactions, but he only needed to take the 1,000.
He didn't need the second 1,000 peso bill.
Yeah,
but he took both of them and then gave me back the change.
Well, he was shipping up. Maybe he thought you were shipping up.
Because
he was making. Yeah, and so I've been sitting here going, scratching my head, and I've counted my change at least half a dozen times. So the joke is on me. It's not on him, because I'm sitting here counting the change going, how did he do that?
Well, you might have been trying to break down some of that large loot so you can use it for, street money and tips. Yeah.
Taxi rides, whatever.
I do it all the time, like when I'm carrying a pocket full of kryptonite.
Smart guy, yes. I got you, Cano. I
don't carry kryptonite.
Carrying a pocket full of personality is what he's carrying.
Yep.
Yeah, so Mike is saying, oh, you weren't, Mike is kind of like, he's right. I wasn't thinking on my feet so fast. He says, tell me you forgot to buy an ice cream bar. Trip him up really good, right?
Mike says he's a pinball and change-giving wizard.
Yep.
All right, so there's something just a tiny bit quirky. I respect what Mac Daddy has to say about that. That it could be that he really couldn't do it in 2 transactions. But honestly, it looked to me like he was using the cash register for both transactions. I mean, that's the way it looked to me.
He probably ran one and ran the other.
It might come down to separate compartmental accounting when you're done at the end of the day.
But check it out. I know I left him. I left him with self-doubt because as I was walking out, I mumbled to myself loud enough for him to hear. I said, well, hey, just as long as one of us knows what we're doing, we're good to go. And then I walked out. Well, as I'm walking by the heading back upstairs, I turned to look through the glass to see what he was doing, and I saw him scratching his head. You know, he was obviously questioning whether he had done the transaction correctly. So maybe I did end up with the last laugh, but I doubt
He
it.
was probably questioning you if you were really that dumb.
So I get back here, and so whenever I critique, you know, something like this, man, Minnie she always for some reason. No, it's not for some reason. The reason's obvious why she would become defensive.
Well,
And so
I
I'll
used to
just
have
make a general observation, and man, Minnie, she becomes very defensive almost immediately.
I used to have a cash card that you would go to the cashier to put money on. I got rid of it. I kept it in the car, so if anybody broke in and stole that little card, they wouldn't get much money. But it was like for buying gas, because I forgot my wallet a few times. And but anyway, when I went in, I had to give them the card, and they had to get something else to do the transaction. And then there was a couple of steps they had to do just to put the money on there.
Oh yeah.
So it was a way of keeping track. All right, yeah, he gave us 500, but it goes to this. It's not what he bought here. It's this transaction.
Right.
So that's probably what he.
Anyway, Mike says, Mikey Joe at Buena Vista says maybe it is possible that, but no other cashier has a clue, and he was stubborn enough to figure it out instead of saying, "Sorry, sir, I don't know." Yeah, this guy was sharper than the rest. Let's just say it that way. He was obviously
Dan,
sharp.
the simple way to do it would have been giving the $1,000 or 1,000 peso bill and GCash.
I know, but I was being stupid. I know I was being stupid and trying to make fun. And so I pull out, like an idiot, another 1,000 peso bill saying, okay, this is for the first transaction. This is for the second one. But he doesn't return the change to me that way. See, he just does the thing in his head, and then he hands me the change. I'm looking at it going, I thought we were doing this in two separate transactions, you know? Yeah, on my side of the ledger, not yours. See, the joke really is on me, and I think that's the bottom line.
He was laughing with you. Hey,
Irene
Michelle, how are you?
is here. Yeah, you know, I'm never doing that again. I was telling Man Minnie, you know, I learned my lesson. The guy taught me a valuable lesson.
Yep.
I'm never doing it that way again. You know, I made a fool out of myself.
I don't see it, but okay.
Okay. Hi, Kurt is here. Kurt, how you doing? Kurt is here. Do I have Kurt in my Rolodex? Kurt, welcome. I'm going to moderate you. All right, there you go. Have I missed anybody?
Dan, we got to get you a bigger studio one of these days. You got so much reverb echo in that tile room.
Do I really?
There's a little, yeah.
Yeah, there's a little reverberation.
Well, you're
going to turn down my mic.
Find space.
Yeah, so it's bouncing off the three walls here.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to turn down the mic a little bit. Is that better?
No. That's okay.
It's not bothersome.
It's not bothersome. It's just there.
Is that better?
Yeah, that is better actually, I think.
Or do I need to buy a high dollar mic like Larry has?
Yeah.
Oh, you need a dead cat, maybe.
Yeah.
All right.
Get a dead cat. That's what this is.
Yeah.
Just get a dead cat.
Tobias, welcome. Tobias, welcome. You're welcome.
Michelle,
here.
How you doing?
Michelle's here. Michelle Lozada. All right, so now, where was I? All right, there's something else I wanted to talk about, and I'm just trying to think of what it was. Of course, Crystal's adventure was an exciting trip north to Pangasinan, and I'm going to do a video on that. And so I got it in the works. So that's going to go up probably this afternoon or tomorrow for sure. It all depends on how what we got going on. I've worked on. I think that there's so much stuff in that visit that we're going to have to do it in a couple videos. I want to talk about. I want to talk a little bit about something an article that got sent to me via email that comes from Camellia Homes. Camellia Homes is like one of the biggest home developers here. They're not as big as Ayala, or maybe they are, but they develop residential homes. And so it's not surprising to me that they figured out that I'm living here, and I've said enough times that I'm interested maybe in buying another house or building one. And so I start getting these email prompts from people like Camellia Homes. So I get
Google
curious.
turned you in.
Yeah, I go in there, and of course, keep in mind while I'm talking here that their main motivation is to sell homes. And so the information in here, it might be biased, headed a certain direction to encourage you to buy a house. Well, they do give some facts that I thought were accurate and important, and that's why I'm reading this. Camellia Homes, they did an article that says the average monthly cost for a single person living in the Philippines, they're talking about all of the Philippines, is $500 per month. Then they do this. Then they say this. That's probably doable in a lot of places. And so for a family of four, it can range from they just take $500. They just take the $500 figure and they multiply it times 4, which I think is inaccurate. So they say for a family of 4,
it doesn't take as much for everybody else as it does for one.
No, I mean, well, if you're married or you're living with a woman, you don't need a bigger place.
Right.
Now you need a little more food, a little more travel money,
hot water.
Your rent's going to be the same. Now, if you got kids, then you need a bigger place, and that'll increase your cost, but not double it.
Yeah, it wouldn't quadruple it. It's not $500 a person for a family of 4. So I think that's the bias. And so what I'm trying to say is that is the built-in bias that they put in there, because they want you to start thinking about maybe I'd be better off lowering my costs by buying a home and paying a lower mortgage payment than I can actually pay in rent. Yeah. So they said you need roughly $2,000 per month, and I question the number for those reasons. So then they separate out Manila, and they say Manila is higher, and they say $600 per month for a single person, up to $2,500 for a family of 4. Again, they do it again. In other words, they take the number again, and they say we think you need, times 4 in order to.
Yeah. So
sorry to hear that, Crystal. Sorry to hear that.
What happened?
Crystal says she can't stay long. It's her brother-in-law's burial.
I fear loss.
She was telling us about that. Yeah, her.
Sorry for your family's loss.
Yeah, your brother-in-law, he left this planet a little bit sooner than he should have, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Chris. You take care and be safe.
We appreciate you stopping in and saying hello. Okay, but then they do give some important. It's sounding Philippine Information Channel like. This sounds like Steve talking, right? So they're saying that the monthly cost of rent for a 2-bedroom apartment can run as high as $1,000 per month, and of course that's true.
It might be possible in BGC
Makati,
or.
Well, no. It can cost you that much in Cebu, but you're going to the highest end. You're looking like maybe Cebu Park,
in
IT Park,
lockdown or something.
but you're not
Well,
looking at the
Western
average
standard
price.
living.
You're looking at a
What?
very high standard of living when you're paying
Yes.
that kind of money in certain areas. But yeah, you can spend that money in this
Yeah.
larger town.
But as
Right.
far as
Right.
because you can go to Cavite and rent a 2-bedroom apartment for $70.
Yeah, well,
And
at least
I know
100. You
this.
can get by
I
400.
know this for a fact.
Yeah, but I'm just
So
saying though. I mean, they're looking like Dan say. They're trying to sell property.
right.
Yeah, they're trying to sell property.
So
Yep.
they're going to go with the. They're not going to say, well, if you want to go mid level or you want to go.
Well,
Wow.
they may be trying to sell
Sorry to hear that,
lifestyle
Jim.
too.
Yeah,
Of course.
they are.
Of
But
course.
that's what I'm saying. They're
You
looking
know,
at the
does
lifestyle, saying,
does the
$1,000 a month,
community
and
have
you'll have a
a
decent lifestyle. Well,
an
I'm sorry.
association fee and a pool?
I watch
Yeah, gated
a Phil
community
End couple
guards.
that's in Valencia. All right, they got a 2-bedroom apartment in a fenced-in, gated community-like thing, but they're all apartments. It's got gated and everything, and they're furnished a 2-bedroom apartment with a swimming pool available to them at any time they want for less than $600 a month.
That
You know?
yeah, I
Well,
should
that's
be. It
furnished.
should be. That
The
should be
people-
closer to 400.
You
a month,
know,
wouldn't you?
it's interesting, this conversation, because people, they have sent me emails and messages saying that you're getting ripped off, Dan, in the Philippines, paying that $300 a month all in to live in Cebu. But I don't see
think
it.
it is.
I don't think
I
it
don't
is
see
either,
that at
because
all.
No, I think
I-
that's very reasonable. But you
yeah,
know,
we come down from the 7th floor and everything is right there in front of us.
Well, not only that, Dan. I mean, like you said, in the area you're at, you go a few
Right.
blocks and you're in IT Park. 300 ain't
Right.
going to touch a decent place.
No.
Exactly.
No, what
We're
you're paying
15-minute
is
walk
gotta be-
going one direction to IT Park, and we're a 15-minute walk going the other direction to Ayala Mall.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
So,
I
I
mean,
mean-
in the area you're
And-
in, I would
And
gladly pay
15
that.
minutes to hospital. I mean, shoot.
Right. Dang.
That is
You had to
a
bring
great-
that up, eh, Leonard? You had to bring that up, huh, Leonard? Okay. All right. I
That's an
see how
important
you are.
factor.
but we know
That's
the
an important
diet you're
factor.
living. We know about all
See?
them donuts.
Yeah.
See how you are?
Well,
All right. So now the next part.
We're just
that sounds-
concerned about your health.
honor the diet, so I got to get you
Oh,
something.
by the way, there's another thing. There's another thing I'd like to point out here. What is it? What is it?
You gain some weight.
It's that the article is talking in dollars, in U.S. dollars, not in Filipino pesos.
Yeah.
So they're
So
trying
you
to
know what?
market.
Their market. They're trying to overprice and grab the Americans.
Yeah.
They're
the
trying to
Americans
grab the Americans because the
can only
Americans
buy
are here.
condos.
Military's here. They want the military and they want the Americans to buy houses.
But like I said, you can't buy a house.
No.
Or I take that back. You can buy a house, but you can't own property. So
Can't
why
own
buy a
the
house?
land it's sitting on,
You
right?
might be able to do it in a gated community where you have
No,
a
you
homeowners
don't own the
association.
property.
LV.
Well, you don't have to own the
LV.
property.
Yeah,
It's common
LV's here.
ground like
Hey,
a
LV.
condo.
If you can buy and own a condo, you can
Right,
buy
but
a house, but you cannot own the property.
Right, but that may to get around that, your house property may be owned by the homeowners association, and it's all common ground, similar to a condo with,
Yeah,
with association fees.
but
Yeah, but
Maybe.
the property itself belongs to
The association,
a Filipino somewhere.
it belongs to a Filipino.
right, belongs to the association, like the
Wow.
condo.
Well, the condo is different than an apartment gated community. The association can't own property.
Well,
They can steal it from you, but they can't own it.
no. If I have friends that live in a condo community where the houses are all single, and it's owned by the condo homeowners association, and it's set up like if you went to their house, you'd think they had a yard and everything, but they don't.
Right.
Well,
It's,
I know
it's community
here.
common ground.
Well, I know in some of the places around here, especially like the townhomes that have yards and stuff, and those kind of and they have houses there too. But those kind of places, like you said,
Yeah,
communities.
it's common ground.
Yeah, they don't they a lot of the places they don't. You pay a rent and they take care of your like the townhouses. If something breaks, they come in and fix it. They cut
Right,
the
you pay an
grass a lot.
association fee.
Yeah, your
Yeah.
association fee takes care of that. I
Yeah.
know a guy that owned the
But
townhouse.
you don't own the property underneath it.
No,
No,
but you own the
no,
townhouse.
it's owned by the association
Yeah, and you
or the
pay the fees,
condo
and they come in
association.
and,
Well,
like I said, they'll repair whatever breaks. They'll cut
yeah.
the grass and stuff.
That's
How's
generally
my
a very
sound, Leonard?
expensive way to live.
How's my mic?
Sounds good.
Sounds good,
Much
man.
better.
Okay, now so then they say in this, the living index across the Philippines has changed over time, which is a nice way of saying that the cost of living in the Philippines is going up, but varies
Well,
by location.
That
So,
of course makes sense, but
yeah,
Well, as they come on more to the Western Standard at like the Manila area, and they have Western Standard infrastructure to pay for, naturally it's going to go up in price to live there.
well, no, I don't. I can't say a lot, but everything I hear about Ilo, they have a forward thinking mayor, and their place is nice and clean, and they do a lot of good stuff. But it's still very affordable for an American to live there.
right.
So
Well, I
I
ain't
mean,
saying that it won't be affordable, but the more infrastructure you put in, meaning sewer, trunk line, water, I
yeah,
don't know
oh
whether
yeah,
they
I
have.
agree with it. It's going to cost. But what I'm
Yeah,
Yeah.
saying is, though,
But look, the thing
this
about
thing
that
that
is
Dan's
though,
talking about sounds like they're trying to say, well, it's going to cost you almost as much to live here as in America.
yep, that's just what they're
oh,
saying.
somebody's dropped their watch in here. They're doing some construction in the apartment next door. If you guys might
Can't
hear that noise.
can't
Yeah, I
hear
heard a little
anything right
banging.
now.
well,
Um,
when you talk
let's
about living in Western Standard, a lot of countries start looking like America for cost, even Mexico.
Yeah,
Just,
Bud
okay.
Brown found that out.
I mean, and I ain't saying that it's not still a little bit less,
Hey, wait.
but
What is the
certainly it
latest
goes
on
up.
Bud Brown? What is the
Well,
latest?
last I saw, I forgot to look for him today. Last I saw, him and Gloria went to Mexico they had some reason to go, and they went to this McDonald's, but a friend of theirs aunt owned a restaurant down there, and they went to the restaurant and enjoyed that, and then their son came and picked them up, and they came back
Hmm. Huh.
because they walked across the border.
He don't look like the Philippines anymore. I'll tell you that. He's got the American fuzz face going.
Yeah,
You're talking about the beard? He had that in the Philippines.
he's had that
Yeah, I
for.
believe so. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he
got.
had
Yeah,
that back months ago.
Yeah,
If
I've
you guys
never.
want to read this article,
well,
I
that's
just
when
want
he
to give
knew he
you
was coming back.
a heads up. It's at Camellia Homes, and it's called "What You Need to Know About the Cost of Living in the Philippines."
Well, they've got some good, accurate information there,
They
but
do
they
have some
also
accurate
got some
information.
BS.
That's what. Okay, so then let
Hey,
me go a little bit further. It talks about the cost of food, transportation, and utilities in the Philippines. This, I'm just going to read it directly from the article. It says the food cost and beverages in the Philippines is relatively cheaper, but they don't say as compared to what. It's a very interesting article,
Yeah.
as compared to what? The United States?
To me, it's a bit deceptive,
Yeah.
intentionally so.
well, they want
And
to
it
be
says,
vague.
no, wait, they do. I'm sorry, I apologize. It says it was a comma, especially when you compare the cost to Western countries. So they do
Right.
say that.
Yeah.
A typical meal at a local restaurant will cost you around 200 pesos, US $4, while a fast food meal is cheaper at around 100 pesos. So they're talking about a rice meal where you get a piece of chicken and a scoop of rice and some gravy at Jollibee for I think something like 79 pesos.
Yeah.
Well, that might be all right for 1 mil, but you can't. I'm sorry. As no, I couldn't survive on that.
Well, can I add something? You
Yes.
want to see what it costs to live in America? Look up the Scion condos in Miami Beach, Florida. The condos there start at like $5 million for an envelope condo, meaning nothing inside. You open up the door, it's one big room. There ain't even a wall.
Oh, it's not even built out.
So
Well,
what you're saying is then it's just a studio, a condo.
no, it's an envelope they call it. You go in and put in your.
One
There's
room is called a studio as well.
well,
Yeah.
no, because there's okay, Larry. Well, maybe for you, but there's no carpet on the floor. There's no walls. There's no kitchen, no bathroom, no toilet,
Oh no,
nothing.
no kitchen. No,
It's
that wouldn't be a
non-finished
studio.
now.
Then you're right.
It's an
A
envelope
studio,
condo.
a studio
Yeah. Yeah.
is usually
Right.
it's got a separate kitchen and everything else is
Right.
One
right
room,
there.
yeah.
It doesn't have to have a wall. They can have a counter separating the kitchen from the
Yeah.
rest of the room.
At
Wow.
Seon,
You don't
you
have
bring
to
in
use
your
carpet.
architect and put
You
in your own
guys,
interior.
park that one for a second because this next paragraph is very interesting to me. You
What's
might have
that?
something to say about this, why they would put this in the article. Alcohol is also relatively cheaper than imported brands. A beer bottle in the Philippines is only about 40 pesos, and then they put the U.S. Value in there, while a bottle of wine starts at around 350 pesos, $7 US. If you
Right.
want, if you want to save even more money, you can always buy your alcohol from a local store where it can be even cheaper. That is weird.
Yeah, but they're telling you, well, you got
That's
to spend all this
strange.
money on a place to live. But look, here's where you save money.
Yeah, that's so strange. I
They're
mean, that's so
talking to them
strange.
Navy guys.
They would
You
use
know all them Navy
alcohol
guys.
as a reason for you wanting to come to the Philippines and live.
Well, that guy's kind of discouraging everybody.
He's trying to say, well, you can buy this house, and this is how you'll save money. If
Yeah.
you,
Right.
you just buy
Right.
local beer and drink it.
Yeah.
Well,
Buy cheap
Budweiser's all
meals.
over the world and expensive.
Yeah, Nomi says burger, steak, plus a Coke float, heaven.
It says transportation costs have likewise changed over time in the Philippines. In the past, transportation was quite expensive and only available to those who could afford it. Today, however, it's much more affordable and accessible to everyone. There are many, many transportation options, including buses, trains, which make it easy to get around without spending a whole bunch of money. So then
So
it gives
they're
some
saying you don't have to
examples
buy a
of fare
car.
rides, but we already talked about that because I told you what it cost to get from the airport to here, and it was dirt cheap.
Well, they're talking about Metro Manila and stuff.
And
They're talking about Metro Manila, yeah. Yeah, they're
maybe
talking about the
Cebu.
city.
Maybe Cebu. They're talking about large cities.
Yeah, but
They're
Metro
not
Manila
talking
is
about
much more expensive than Cebu.
you're not going to have that ease of transportation, I don't think, even in Dumaguete. I don't think there's any taxis in Dumaguete, is there? Are there? From what I hear,
Yeah, Dumaguete's got everything.
they don't have everything.
Well, they got Jeeps, they got trikes, they got taxis, they got Uber, or I mean, Lyft,
Grab. Yeah.
Grab. I mean,
The most expensive
many of
cities
those
to
things.
live in are the capital city of Manila, followed by Cebu, then Davao. The cost of living in these cities is significantly higher than in other parts of the country.
I can believe that. They're
If
big.
you want
That's the
a
bigger
more
cities.
luxurious lifestyle, be prepared to shell
Well,
out
it is,
higher.
but I don't see that. I don't see that with Cebu
Well, they're talking
or
the
Dumaguete.
luxurious lifestyle.
But we
You
had
just
that
read
here.
that.
We
Well,
had that
yeah,
here in America too.
Well,
It's
yeah,
like
that's true.
it's
Yeah.
like going from New York to Washington D.C. I mean, they're very expensive to live in,
Or
but you go to
L.A.
Philadelphia, it's cheaper.
Like I said, L.A., Chicago.
Yes, they're very expensive.
Oh yeah.
But honestly, I think that I think they make a good point here, and that is that it's cheaper. I do believe at this point it's cheaper actually to buy a house in Cebu than it would be to rent. I think your mortgage payment on a 75,000 or $100,000 home is going to only be something like they would want something like a 50% down payment. But if you were able to pull that off, your mortgage is only going to be something like 100 to 125 bucks a month in American money.
Well,
what I notice about the Philippines, all the houses that they're building and selling are
Yeah.
very, very tiny.
They're tiny, exactly. They're 40 square meters up and down.
if I'm going to buy something small, I would rather get a condo.
So we met. Some of you know that we went to Pampanga, San Fernando, to meet with Minnie's uncles and aunties, and we had a good time. And one of the conversations was about the cost of houses. They're saying if we go to San Fernando, Pampanga, the average house there is probably going to run something around 40,000 American dollars.
That's not bad.
And so that's something you could actually. That's something we could pay cash for that. And so that was an eye opener for me. I mean, 40,000 bucks to be in that area where you're only an hour's drive away from Manila, and you're an hour from Clark. I mean, that's very attractive to me.
Now, Hey Joe makes a good point here as well. He says they say it's cheaper because they sell houses versus renting, and if you and you will be stuck with a house if you don't like the neighbors versus renting, where you can just leave. So,
well, that's true. Yeah. I mean, that is true.
I mean, if you could rent the place and live there for a while,
but you know,
that would be the best way to do it.
You know, Mike, the demand for housing in the Philippines?
Huh?
It's all going to come down to what the demand for housing is when it comes time to resell.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, time to resell. I mean, this isn't the United States. You don't even think about reselling your house.
Well,
you buy a home to live in for the rest of your life. That's how it works here.
Well, especially for us older expats.
It's not for an investment. It's for living.
Yeah.
Right.
And so they did say that size of a house is that 45 square meter one that you guys are thinking about. You know, it's basically like a box. You have your kitchen and your living room on the bottom floor with one CR on the other side of the kitchen, and then you go upstairs and you have 2 bedrooms and 1 CR.
No,
but hey, that's all you need. But now, what was interesting about talking about San Fernando, Pampanga, the capital city, versus other areas, is that you can actually go into an established neighborhood where the families are well known. In other words, in the case where I'd be interested in buying a home there, we would be going with them and taking their advice as to what is a good neighborhood and a safe neighborhood.
Well, you have an advantage because you have family there.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
and so I would take advantage of that.
Yeah, but they're more likely to be honest with the right place to live. Now, Mike married to a beautiful makes a good point here as well. He says buy land starts around 1,500 pesos per square meter around Dumaguete. So you also got to look at how much is the land going to cost if you're going to build one, and that's going to vary from town to town, island to island. But that is an important cost.
Yep.
I could blow your brains off, though, Dan.
Dan has the idea: have a home base and bounce around the different islands renting. And of course, I lean towards that. I lean towards doing that because it's worked out so well here in Cebu that I think if we went to San Fernando, Pampanga, we're going to be able to rent for $80 a month. I'm sure of it. I'm almost sure of it. I'm sure it's no problem finding an apartment to rent in that part of town for $80 a month.
Well, here's one for you. Where I live out in this rural end of Pennsylvania, you can buy a fixer-upper home for $20,000. You can buy something move-in ready for about $50,000, but stuff still rents for $500 or $600 a month, plus all your utilities. For about $50,000, but stuff still rents for $500 or $600.
Sorry about that.
Ooh.
So
Well,
I mean, and then
was
of course
wondering
they
who
have the
had that on.
normal. Then they have normal homes too, which are like 180, 200, 300,000 all over the place here. But and I'm talking something like a small, older, like coal town that's livable.
Yeah, of course. Mike says I don't want any neighbors within sight. Get off my lawn. Yeah, and me, we're kind of polar opposites on that end. But hey, live life the way you want to live it. Yeah, I mean, I don't
Yep.
see any problem with that.
I'll be
Wanting some
right
land
back. I gotta
around
plug
you.
my phone in. It's almost dead.
Yeah, Mike, I don't see any problem with you wanting to live, that kind of lifestyle. I think there are a lot of things that are very attractive about that idea, but I like the city. I like the city life. I like both the suburban and urban living. We talked about that a little bit while he was here. I just happen to like the city as much as I like the burbs, if you will, the
Yeah.
province.
Well, the Asian cities are so nice.
Hmm.
It's not like America.
Yeah. Well, except Dave and I, my friend Dave and I, that's one of our conversations that we kept going back and forth about. We kept talking about, man, that area of
Hey,
Malate
girly
or
Cena.
Ermita, that place has not improved in 20 years or 30 years that I've been coming to the Philippines. Yeah, but they're not pouring the money into that part of town right now. They're pouring it into the new city around the airport, the casino building, all that infrastructure is going
Hey,
underground.
girlie.
They're putting it in the transportation, the light rail system. You know that when we went into Clark to get on the plane, we were with a Grab driver who was telling us, he
Yeah,
showed us
that's
where
true.
the new train terminal is that they're building. And what's interesting about that train terminal, he says you'll be able to get from Clark to Manila in 35 minutes taking that train. And people are really, really excited about that. And
That's
so, I
going to be
mean,
good.
that's infrastructure improvement
Yep.
that you can't find anywhere in the world. I'm telling you, unless you're talking about that bullet train they're building to Bakersfield or wherever that is.
Yeah.
Well,
They're
they're
building that
redoing a lot of
California
the rail here in
bullet train
Pennsylvania.
to
I'll tell you
nowhere.
that.
They're calling
Well,
it.
they have to because they haven't for so many years.
But yeah,
Girly
a lot of
Center's in the house.
Leonard, you're
And
accurate. A lot of it's 100 years old.
yeah,
But like
it's
Yeah.
not
the
just in Pennsylvania; it's all over the
Did you
nation.
see what Tobias has
yeah,
to say?
Who's
He
that?
says he lives
Tobias?
80 miles outside of Chicago and pays 600 for a one bedroom. The same I can get a 4 bedroom house there in Tallahassee.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely the truth.
Like I said,
Yeah.
I could live where Dan's at right now for less than half of what I'm paying for my apartment. Now I have a cheap apartment. It's a nice apartment, but it's not expensive. There's
well, you're
apartments
out in the
around me that
country
cost a
of
whole
New
lot more
York.
than
You're
I'm
not in
paying.
the city,
No, I'm not in the city.
right?
There's places outside the city that cost a whole lot more than what I'm paying.
Oh, sure.
And I
It's
mean, they're not.
suburbia.
If you ask me, they're no nicer
Taylor
than what I
G.
have because I know people that live there, and they're paying almost almost one and a half times what I'm paying for an apartment.
Yeah, but you're further out. It's location.
Yeah, Mike's right. You got to be careful. You got to be careful if you build in the province. You have to be careful with right of ways. If water and hydro is near your land, you have all those things to consider.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, this guy hadn't posted for a while. He came down with cancer. Him and his wife were building a place there outside of Himalaya, there on Negros, and they had to give up so much of their land for right of way.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. It was so many meters wide
Yeah.
to have a pathway, and they were starting to build. They had a house built, but they were going to build on. It was more like uh, a studio apartment, maybe a little bit bigger than that house that they'd already built. But they were planning on adding bigger and then going up as well. And then he got sick, and turns out he's got colon cancer. And it looks like he won't make it. That was Marky Shoebake. I don't know if you remember him, Dan, from Chris and Cebu's chance or not.
What's the name? Who is it?
Marky Shoemate.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He was diagnosed with colon cancer late last year or early this year. I can't remember exactly when. And he
Dang.
went back to the States for a while, and it turns out it's pretty well terminal.
Oh man.
Yeah, so he's back
That's
in the
horrible.
Philippines with his wife, and he did post some after he got back. They were starting to build more of the house. He's taking this kind of medicine that they're hoping will help, but there's no guarantee.
Mm-hmm.
And but he hadn't posted anything in about a month or more, so I think he's not doing well. I've been following him for probably longer than I've been following you.
Mike said he's paying $1,600 a month for a 2-bedroom apartment. And that's very similar to what I was paying for a 1-bedroom apartment in Sacramento
That's what I'm
prior
saying.
to us coming to the Philippines. The allure is that I got to tell you, you get used to this. How should I say it? Well, there's only one way to say it. So David and I were talking about this when we were visiting together in Angeles City, and one of the things we spent a little bit of time talking about is what is it
Anna G.
about the Philippines that is so attractive that you are willing to put up with the deficiencies, where infrastructure is not the greatest in the world, and things like that. And the number 1 and 2 are the same that you'd hear on anybody else's discussions on YouTube when you start talking about it. It's hands down the cost of living, the lower cost of living, and the welcoming Filipino people who speak English.
Well, yeah, like I said,
Exactly.
Without a doubt, he said it's so different where he lives. He's living in a high-rise apartment in Bangkok. Some of you know,
yeah.
and it's huge. He said it's huge, and it is huge. I mean, it's like 1,000 square feet or 1,200 square feet of luxurious living. But yet at the same time, he's saying, visiting the Philippines this time. He says, I don't know if you can keep me away. I don't know if you can keep me from moving back here to the Philippines, because I had instant recall. It's been so long since he's been here that he had instant recall of what it's like to be here. And he says he just loves it. He just absolutely loves the people.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mike.
They are. Yeah.
Hey Joe's correct. Hey Joe says I'm not as poor living in the Philippines.
Well, the warmness of the Filipino people is apparent. That's my attraction. It's just
it's all of it, okay? Because it's the friendliness of the people. It's the cost of living. It's the fact that I can travel by myself and find somebody to communicate with. It's the weather. It's
you know what I've become addicted to? I'm gonna just lay it out there. I'm gonna tell you what my addiction is.
Here's the commercial: Dunkin' Donuts.
No, we're talking about aside from the Bavarian cream donuts. It's having money in my pocket. It's a very, very addictive thing. It's
not the accelerated spending that you have to have in the States. It's slowed down because everything's cheaper.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. You walk around.
Less distractions to spend it on.
It's just having a bucket full of money at the end of the month, and I just can't see myself going back and living full time in the USA, knowing that
That's what I'm trying to get to, Dan.
Spending every penny every single month on just basic needs.
The USA is a rat race.
It's a rat race, and
and I don't want to get back on that hamster wheel.
I'll tell you, once I get off, I'm not getting back on. I'm on that hamster wheel or rat trap, whatever you want to call it.
I'm hung up though. I can't move to the Philippines for a long time.
Well, I understand that, but you're a much younger man than I am.
Yes,
and you're much younger than Leonard.
Yeah,
But
stop telling everybody.
huh? You're younger
Stop
than I am,
telling
I think,
everybody.
Leonard. But he's still younger than you.
Yeah, I
Hey,
know.
Well,
I'm gonna
I'm
try.
59 this year.
I'm addicted to those 7-Eleven double chocolate ice cream bars, and you know what? I'm gonna give that a try today, Mike.
Well,
Just because you brought it up.
I happen to be the kind that I would prefer a good oatmeal cookie.
Oh,
I
I make
love.
my own when I do oatmeal
Yeah,
cookies.
I used to make my own.
Brown sugar, cinnamon, raisins,
I didn't always
butter.
put the raisins in, but yeah, I have a homemade recipe for uh, oatmeal cookies, but I make it by not a dozen, dozens. That's my recipe. It's
See,
dozens,
I make them by the dozens too when I make them.
but that's way too many.
Yeah.
So I have to take it into where I
I
work,
hand them out.
and I still eat most of them.
Hey, guys do yourself
I,
do
I
yourself a
don't do them
favor. Go
anymore.
in, find that article on the cost of living in the Philippines that Camilla Holmes put up. I think you guys are going to find it. It's a huge article, and I think you guys are going to get some good information out of there.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you,
It was pretty interesting what you read us.
I got to tell you, you know what the strangest thing this time around after traveling around and then coming back here, uh, it hit me like a ton of bricks that I actually said to Man Minnie, it feels so good to be home. That was so weird. I didn't even have to think about it. I just said to her, Minnie, it's so good to be home back in Cebu. And
I'm going to tell you, uh, most of the time that I've been gone from Indiana, I always considered Indiana home. And when I came back this trip, it's like, man, I'm glad to be home.
Yep.
I love my sisters. I love my mother, but I no, I it was just good to be because I stayed at my sister's. Okay, outside the night I did the live stream. I stayed in a hotel because they don't have internet. So it just felt good to come home and get my own because all the other places were temporary. Even
I
though I
left
lived
the
in the one place for 15,
hey,
20 years,
Tobias, I'm going to tell you straight up: don't let anybody try and talk you out of not moving here.
Yeah.
That's all I got to
no,
say
no,
about that. By
Tobias,
telling you that 1650 is not enough to live here, because hey, you're new to the stream, but I've told people, we've gone over this. We're maintaining two places and then traveling all around the Philippines on 1,600 a month monthly budget, all in. I mean,
I,
that's
I
running
would
game,
still
booze, and the whole thing.
I would still work till you're 65, or if you could take it. If you can't, get the hell out of there. But
Well, it sounds like he's already getting his Social Security. So
Yeah, 1,650 and
yeah, if you're
boom.
already getting your Social Security, and if you got your bills squared away and got some money saved up, get to getting.
you hit the
The
road.
only thing's
Yeah.
keeping me here. There's a couple things, and the main thing is my mother. I'm sorry, I'm not
Yeah.
going. My mom's 97. I'm not going anywhere until after she passes. And the other thing is the two bills I want to get paid off. I've been thinking about what Ed suggested. I've been thinking about maybe checking into getting a loan. Yes, Ed, I hate to say it, but I've been thinking about what you said.
Hard to admit you're trying to think about what Ed told us, huh?
I'm
Yeah,
just trying to tell you, chop the interest.
Yeah.
well, like I
Oh
said, I'm
yeah. If
thinking
he
about
can, if he can beat the
going in on
interest,
my days off and talking to
Mike is saying he's going through withdrawal symptoms. I feel bad for you, Mike. Listen,
but
oh
anyway,
my
like
We
I
goodness.
were
said,
talking about what it's going to be like when you go back to where you came from. I
Yeah.
left the Philadelphia region 6 years ago. I lived right where I-95 and the Pennsylvania Turnpike crisscross, Levittown, Pennsylvania, essentially, but not Levittown. I didn't live there. Next to it, and if I went back there today, it's changed so much in the 5 years that I've been gone out of there. I went to Delaware and still went back there like every day almost. And then I left in an Elm in Western Pennsylvania. And I got to tell you, I would never go back to the rat race of Philadelphia.
well, I could take Terre Haute. I'd have to get
Yeah,
my
but
own.
well,
I'd have
yeah,
to
but
make
I'm
it
just
my
saying,
place.
you're not. It would be like you going back to New York City or something, Larry. It's just that kind of congestion and people.
Tobias,
I
we'll
won't
hook
deal
up
with
in
it anymore.
October. If you're going to be here, we'll get a chance to meet each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hoping
Tobias,
I'm there by
we're
then.
all wishing you well. Like I said,
I hope you are too, Leonard. What's the
you're
plan?
making us jealous.
Well, right now I'm trying to save up enough to buy my ticket.
Okay.
Well, like
All
I
right.
said,
I'm not going to have a
once I
lot of
get those
saved
2
money,
bills
but
paid off, because I'll still have the car payment, but who cares? You can sell the car
yeah,
once you're ready to go. You don't need it anymore.
right.
Uh,
I'm trying to come for a month at some point, and
well,
I'm not sure when.
Whatever
it
you
all
do,
depends on how
you're
things
going to have
happen.
to go
Uh,
for a little while at least.
like I said, I don't care what happens. It's going to be 3 years before I do anything. Even if my mom would pass away this week, it'd still be 3 years.
See, I got a piece of property here, like I always talk about. I have an acre and a half, basically. I mean, that's got to be worth with the hookups that are on it. It's a hillside. It's but I figure it's got to be worth 10,000 American.
Yeah. But
It should be.
like I said, now
I
if
don't know
my
property
mom was
values
to
in that
pass away,
area,
though, I would try to
but
make
that should
a
still be
yearly visit to the
that
Philippines
should
till I'm
still
ready
be
to move.
reasonable.
I can't find anything an acre and a half for less than 15 grand, and I have sewer, city water, and electric on my property and a well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all
So
good selling points.
and I
Oh,
got a
so
cherry tree claim.
List
You
it for
can sell the
20.
cherry trees. What?
hey,
List it
before I
for
forget
20.
it, to talk about it, I wanted to know. So I've been exploring talking about this since I have such a huge Filipina audience. I was thinking about
Yes.
going over how Western men can detect whether Filipinas have daddy issues or not. And I ran into a great article, and so I don't have to specifically address anybody about the subject, but just talk about
It
it in
always did.
general terms.
It's not your fault. You can have it.
Good.
So
I don't-
someone sent me an
I
article
don't
that
know
I
about
found
it.
to
Put
be
my
very, very
potatoes in.
interesting about it.
And now I
And
have to disagree with Hey Joe. He
What?
says a month is not long enough.
What?
Will that be a good deal?
Hey Joe says a month is not long enough, bro. You need 2 months at least. I disagree.
I heard about it.
When I went to
Well,
China, I did not have jet lag when I got there.
I
I
want my
got
grade.
jet lag when I came back.
Well, Larry, most people do. So,
Yeah, but no, I
yeah.
got the jet lag, but it was when I returned.
yeah.
I didn't get it going over. I got it coming back.
I need room
In general, I'd have to agree with Mike though that you need a couple of months. I would have to. It just takes
It would
takes
be
a
better.
couple of weeks just to feel normal. Just to get back to normal.
Well, yeah, when you get used to the time zone and
I'll
everything.
talk to you later, but I have a table and chairs for the porch.
Hey,
Like I
Ed,
said,
mute
with
your
me,
mic
I
when you're
didn't have
talking.
any trouble going
What?
over. It was coming back.
Mute your mic when you're talking.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm done.
Yeah, you were talking over everybody.
Oh, I apologize.
Sorry about that.
But like I said, though, I got to sleep the one day, and then I was up and running. Was never tired. I was there for 3 weeks. Had a great time. Was never worn out from travel. But when I came home, that's when the jet lag hit me.
Well, I'm hoping it works that way for me because since I'm not coming home, I
Yeah.
won't ever get it.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, when you're going on vacation, I can't take 2 months.
Well,
You know?
yeah.
A lot of
Well,
people can't.
Ed's
take 2
not
months.
on that kind of restraint.
Yeah.
He
Well,
has
when you're
restraints,
retired,
but
that's different. But if you're taking a vacation like I would, like I said, if my mom passed away, I'm still not moving over, but I would try to make yearly vacations. And I only get 3 weeks paid vacation.
right.
So I might take 4 and take 1 week unpaid, but I can't afford to take 5 weeks unpaid. Can't afford it.
No.
Oh,
No.
I'm on a medical sabbatical right now, if you would.
Yeah.
I have
So you
lymphedema
take
on my legs I'm trying to deal with. And I just fought all day with my insurance company over getting cataract surgery for my eyes. I'm legally blind.
You would think that should be something you wouldn't have to fight for.
Well,
Because they
You
do
would think.
that all the time.
the problem is where I live. A bunch of doctors retired that did cataract surgery, And because of my BMI, my body mass index, I'm losing weight, but not enough. They can't operate on me in an outpatient center. And if I want to wait, it's a year to get cataract surgery. So I'm pushing them to send me to Pittsburgh.
Oh, they're doing. They're already doing. What's it called? Medical. Um,
Discrimination.
no, rationing. They're already doing medical rationing.
And
They've already set.
Yes.
They've already set the perimeters up for rationing out medical care.
now, hey, Joe was saying, get over the honeymoon phase of how new everything is too. I agree with that.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
won't get over the honeymoon phase in a month. I don't
No.
think you'll get over it in 2 months.
Yeah, it takes a while.
Yeah,
I think
It
it'll
takes
take
a
a
while. You're right about that.
Yeah,
Absolutely correct.
I think
But
Paul
like I said,
Oldog said
remember,
it
I'm
was
just going
probably
over to check
closer to
out the
6 months
areas.
for him.
I would go to different areas each trip over and see which area I like the best.
Yeah.
Well, my
Yeah.
whole plan.
Tobias, what you're saying here, about $4 for a dozen eggs. Well, the thing is that financial is the number one reason why people move here. I mean, it is the number one reason. I mean, at
eggs are not $4
$16.50,
a dozen here.
Yeah.
He's in Chicago area.
Well, I'd be surprised if they're that much there.
They're
Because
99 cents here right now.
yeah, they're like
They're not
98
that cheap
cents.
here in New York.
They dropped down again.
Yeah, but they're not that cheap here in New York.
Pork is way down too.
It's still
Yeah.
almost a couple of bucks.
I bought pork the other day. I bought a whole back pork loin for $1.59 a pound. It was
Yep.
$9.
Now I buy eggs 5 dozen, and the last ones I bought was $5.85.
So that's a little over $1 a dozen.
Yeah.
But
Tim has given a suggestion on how to avoid the jet lag. I think it's solid.
oh yeah, it is.
Sleep
It
on
is.
the plane.
No, he says start changing your sleep habits to where
Oh,
it's back.
right.
In
Yeah.
other words,
Oh yeah, try and
I'll
change
have to
before
stay
you
up,
go.
right.
try to change
I'll have
before
to
you
get
go. So when you
nocturnal.
get there, you're already on that.
Yep.
But see, for me,
I'll
I'm the kind of
become
person that
nocturnal for a couple of weeks before I head over.
I like to stay up late. If I'm
Well, I do
off,
too.
I stay up till 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Well, I don't usually stay up that late, but
Oh,
I
I
usually
do.
stay
I
up
mean-
till after 11.
When I was working, I used to work 3 to 11. And when I worked 3 to 11, there was times I didn't go to bed till 6 o'clock in the morning. You know,
Well, I can tell you this, that I put in a lot of hours. I see Leonard puts in a lot of hours. But sleep on the plane on your way over helps a lot
yeah.
because when you get off
I
the plane,
did that. I did that on
you're
that
ready to
trip.
do your day.
I did.
But
I
you're
did
going to
it
get
on the
hit
way
with
back.
jet lag a day or so later as you're adjusting.
Yeah.
But, well, I took a day. Like I said, when we got there, I went with a group of people, and they wanted to go running. I said, "See ya. I'm staying here." And I stayed in the hotel and just took a day to relax. And then the next day after that, boom, I was ready to go the whole time
Yeah.
I was there. But I took one
Yeah.
day. I didn't sleep the whole day, but I stayed and stayed around the hotel and did some local stuff. But it's like you go, and it's like, no, I don't need to do that. I'm fine. I'll stay here. But they were only there for a week, so I don't blame them.
Yeah.
Wanting to hit the ground running. They was there for a little over a week. I was there for 3 weeks. I knew I was going to be there that long.
Tim,
Well,
Tim has a great idea, though. Adjust
Oh,
your
yeah.
sleeping habits before you go. I'll take
I
2
got
or
a
3
great way
weeks.
to.
I'll just go nocturnal for 2 or 3 weeks. I can do it fine. And sleep on the plane on my way over, and I'll be ready to go.
I got a great way to stay cheap too. I'm going to stay in a dive resort in Onda Bahal out in the province. I can stay for 3 weeks for $175. They tell me, but
I'm
that's
not
with minimum maid service.
Yeah.
That's only maid service like 3 days a week.
That's enough for
There's
me.
the Philippine and P did a couple vlogs with these two brothers, and they were
Well, that's-
staying at the dive resort where I guess Critter Hunter is at. They're on outside of Dumaguete, and I guess it's
Oh, is
fairly,
that in Dawa?
yeah, I guess it's fairly reasonable.
And it's not a preferred room I would get, by the way. I wouldn't have a balcony or a view or anything.
No, you don't need it unless you're going to live there. You don't
Well, I
need
don't
it.
care. The only thing I'm going to be doing in that room is sleeping.
That's what I said. You don't need it. Now,
Right.
once
I
you
mean,
decide to
I'm next
move,
to the. They showed
You're
me the
only going to
one.
be there for a
It's
few days, so
They
that's
showed
true.
me the one. It's next to the pool, and the bar's right
no.
across from the pool, and there's a restaurant. It's a nice place.
But like I said, you take Dan. Now Dan doesn't have that, but he's got that big common area, right? Dan, you guys use that,
That's
don't
right.
you?
Yeah. There's a common area that has it has everything you
Yeah,
need.
you showed
Yeah.
it
Right.
on one of your videos.
Yeah.
If you got
Seldom
that,
is
you don't need
used
the
by
porch.
anybody.
You don't
Yeah.
need a porch. You got a place
No.
to go sit. There's a place where you can go see the view.
Yep.
There are a
I
lot of
like a
places.
balcony, but not every place has what Dan has.
Yeah, there are a lot of places that are built the way that this building is built. So I'm thinking that it's cookie cutter. You know?
And probably if whoever
Yeah.
built that building probably uses that same design for almost all their buildings at that time.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Probably.
I've seen them quite a bit
Dan.
in this area. Yeah.
Did you check on a 2-bedroom in that area?
Checked on
In
a
that,
one
in that
bedroom.
same building or the
Yeah, the same building.
one
So
bedroom?
yeah,
We're
I
gonna
haven't
live in a
gotten
studio.
I haven't gotten a straight answer out of the manager yet. I don't know if she thinks that I'm playing around
That
with her or
sucks.
not, but I've said I mentioned it a couple of times, and I think she may be indicating to me that they reserve a couple of those units for Airbnb, and that they charge $20 a night on Airbnb for those units. And so I'm thinking to myself,
That's
so that's something like,
$600 a month. That's more than you need.
yeah, that's too much money. So I'm gonna be chatting with her again if I see her today or
Well,
tomorrow. That's one of the things that's on my plate to deal with.
I mean, for $600 a night, I might as well stay where I'm at.
yeah.
Well,
So
they
Yeah,
got.
too much money.
Here's
One
one
bed.
for you.
Yeah,
They got online here. People are renting houses and out as a property, and then they're subleasing it by the night to Airbnb people.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
That's the new way
I've
to
been
make
seeing
money.
that.
Airbnb vacancy rate here in the Philippines, it's really horrible. And so if your plan is to come to the Philippines and do an Airbnb, forget about it. I mean, it's
no.
running something at like a 51 or 52% occupancy rate. Everybody and their mothers come in here and they're buying condos and they're putting them on Airbnb, and they're getting the surprise of their life, that they're not getting any play. And so they keep lowering the price. If you guys want to check this out, go into Airbnb and put in Cebu, Philippines, or Manila, and you're going to see the prices are dropping significantly.
Filipino
Yeah, I've
Raquel, how
heard
you
that.
doing?
Filipino Raquel is in the house.
They had a thing today on about the Chinese market. A lot of people are buying these
Raquel, how
cities
are
that
you?
they built in China.
Listen, the Chinese thing is a very interesting thing. This is one of those few times in history that they are looking at a total and complete economic collapse, and they're trying to disguise.
All these cities that nobody lives in, and now they're trying to give them away for free to get people to move into them and open them up. But they're built
People don't
such
even want to move
substandard,
there.
they're falling over.
Nobody wants to
They're
be
falling
there.
over. Yeah, people won't live in them. It's all part of the
It's
pun.
stucco over bamboo. It's not holding up. Ain't no rebar.
It's dominoes. It's dominoes. They're gonna fall over. Hey, go into Airbnb. It's quite possible that in the short term, if you're coming over here and you need some time to look for a place to live, a permanent place, you could probably hook yourself a long-term Airbnb, for on the cheap. You definitely can do it in Thailand, that's for sure, but you can do it here too, because it's so competitive right now.
If I go to Thailand, I've actually got a place to stay.
So, oh, do you? That's great.
Yeah. That's cool.
Hey Joe, he said they killed so many female babies that the population is crashing too. Are you talking about China?
Yeah, the population is aging out, and the whole one kid thing, it backfired on them.
Yeah, the whole one kid
Yep.
thing in the 80s.
Yeah, the whole
Oh,
one
yeah.
kid policy backfired on them big time.
Yep.
Rub it
You're
in,
still in bed, Raquel?
Raquel, just rub it in. She says, I'm still in bed.
Get some coffee.
Yeah,
Get up. Get some coffee. You'll be
there you
okay.
go.
I have to. I'm staying at a friend's house. Thank God tonight's the last night. They're out of town, and I'm watching
Hang
their
up.
rabbit. They got a pet rabbit, so I'll go over. I'll feed the rabbit tonight.
Dang, I couldn't get that thing to hang up.
Clean up the his litter box, or her litter box. And then I'll get up in the morning and put out some more food for the rabbit, and then clean up the litter box a little more, and then I'll take off. And they'll be back tomorrow afternoon, so I won't have to worry about it tomorrow night.
Man, time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it's
Look
almost
at this.
2
Yeah.
o'clock.
We're
You
at a
can't
buck
go.
56. I'm telling you,
can't
hey,
go.
I gotta though. I got things to do. I got Philippines to enjoy.
Remember, he has
know.
Duncan to do.
I got Duncan. You don't want me to lose my
And don't
Duncan
forget your,
contract, do you?
That's right. Get your donuts. $3.99 a dozen
Dan,
this week.
you're 100. You're
Hey.
100.
We don't want you to
Your
lose your
giveaway,
membership
100?
card.
Yeah. What's that?
Dan, your giveaway.
Yeah, we're gonna do
100?
it right now. I have a winner in the top on the top of my head. I don't believe I have Sec Bucci's Gcash number. Filipino Raquel, if you have Sec Bucci's Gcash phone number.
was still in the video. I mean, the live stream here just a little bit ago.
Yeah, she's
He
Sec Bucci's here somewhere.
was, yeah.
I can hear it in Larry's
Sec
voice.
Bucci is today's winner for the 100 peso giveaway. And so if I can get somebody, a friend, to send me Sec Bucci's Gcash number, that would be great. It'd be truly appreciated. Or Sec Bucci, you could send me a message through Messenger. Just look for Daniel Herrera, Sacramento, California, and you will find me. Herera. Hey, did you guys see that video I did where they changed the street sign to the name Herrera? Did you see that in the
No, I
Philippines?
didn't see that one.
So they have a street sign
Oh, I saw that.
yeah, the street is named after my family name. Hey, one more thing. Did you see Adrian doing the shout out on one of my videos? You know who Adrian is? He's famous
Yeah.
from Philippines.
Yeah, I've seen that
See
one.
the guy that says the guy at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the
So I
end.
can't
Yeah.
remember what he said, but yeah.
And did you
He
see
was on
Anna?
a couple of them, wasn't he?
Did you see
Now,
Anna
Dan,
walking up and say hi?
Filipino Raquel said she'll send it to you.
Oh, thank you. Anna, did you see Anna, the homeless Anna that's always showing up from time to time on Philly in the Philippines?
Oh, she's wacko.
Anna is
yeah, I
great.
saw her.
I mean, Anna is a very, very intelligent woman. She has this lifestyle that she has adapted to. They tell me the locals there tell me that Anna's been living on the streets there for better part of 10 years. She's very, very comfortable there. And I think a regular guy had mentioned it, saying, "Oh, I see Anna every day." Well, truth of the matter is she disappears from time to time. Nobody really knows where she goes. But she came up to us and said hello when we were there at Envy's. You guys saw it in the video probably. I put it in there. And, I don't know, stuff like that. It kind of excites me a little bit, when you run
It's
into
always
people.
interesting.
It's always
YouTube
interesting.
star.
You run into people that you've seen featured on other YouTube channels and stuff like that. And also, I don't know if you know I can't remember his name, but from time to time I ran into that guy. He always actually wears the badge. The guy that feeds the children that was on what's the name of the channel? He shows up on different people's channel from time to time, but they contribute. They have an organization in Angeles City where they make contributions so they can go and they can feed the less fortunate kids around the Angeles City area. And I've seen him around town a couple of times because he's always wearing his identification card. And he usually has this parade of kids following him. I don't know if they're waiting for crumbs or I don't know exactly. He's very well known in Angeles City. So although I haven't had a chance to introduce myself to him, I would have made a contribution had I run into the guy, but I didn't run into him on this trip. But I've seen him about, I don't know, 2 or 3 times hanging around near Envy across from Philly Sports Bar, and he's a hell of a nice guy, really tall, really tall. But I can't think of his name, and I shouldn't know it, and I apologize for not knowing it. But Seth Bucci, your money is on the way. Hey, Joe, thanks for coming into the chat, and everybody else that made contributions. Tobias, and who else was here from USA? By the way, if you guys go and look at the video, you'll see that the kiosk hotel video is doing very, very well. And I think that there's some kind of algorithm thing in play on that one. So I appreciate everybody that was here, especially if it's the result of discovering me from that video in particular. We'll see what happens. We're keeping a close watch on the channel. Minnie keeps reminding me it's because she's becoming a YouTube superstar, and that's how you're discovering me. So
she's the bigger star, Dan.
Yeah, she's the bigger star through those short videos.
I believe that's true.
Yeah, okay.
And director.
Yeah, her short videos. Her short videos are killing.
Yeah. Anyway,
Dan found the formula. Let Mimi do it.
Yeah. So thank you again, everybody, for being here. Yeah. So Larry, you're up. Take us out of this live stream.
All right, everyone. Remember, be kind to each other. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe. Stay healthy. And as always, try to have fun.
All right. We'll see everybody on the next one. Thanks so much for being here.
Bye, everybody.
Leave the studio, everybody.
Larry is on tomorrow.